Param Shanti Bapuji. Today we would like to know what art of living is. How should one live a peaceful life? A lot of things have been said in different scriptures. The soul and its progress is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. How can the Jeev or soul become Shiv, and in reality, what is the meaning of art of living?
In today's world, if you see the way all the saints tell you about the art of living, that is nothing but the art of how to live a life. They talk about how to improve health by teaching exercises or spiritual practices that focuses more on the body and how to improve it. For example, Hatha Yoga. They teach these things in accordance to what is mentioned in the scriptures and Ved. But what about the human soul which aims or whose spiritual goal is to become a Shiv? The knowledge or the art of living related to the body is good and quite normal these days as well. But what should be the art for the soul and the knowledge that it requires after it has left the body?
Bapuji, the main thing is how the soul should reach the Amarlok from Mrityulok. From the five elemental world, how should the soul reach the world of supreme elements? Because there the soul completely transforms in terms of elements. For example, the causal body or the subtle body are not allowed there. So how should we reach there? This question is of prime importance.
I will tell you about what kind of art of living is required when the soul is leaving the body. People discuss about life after death, and we have already made a video on that previously. It is said as Ant Mate So Gati, which means the state and trajectory that the soul carries over after death. If your soul has the knowledge that it wants to go to the divine world or the supreme abode, or if you might want to become a superior soul like Shiva from being a normal soul, then how will you go there? What is the process for that? I shall tell you how to progress your soul and to make it successful. The main thing about the progress of a soul is that till the time it is in a human body, it is within the five elements. Now, we also know that a soul is immortal, victorious, and unconquerable. It never dies. It shall only leave the body after death. Hence, after death, if your soul remains on the earth, it shall keep wandering. In the scriptures too, it is mentioned that if it has any attachments with the loved ones, it stays back in their houses, and if it is desireless and wishes to go to the immortal world, it can do so. For example, this is our sun and this is our earth, and if you want to travel from Bhulok, that is the human world, to Swarglok or Swarlok, which is our third lok via Bhuvarlok, so it can reach there if it's detached and desireless. And if it does bad deeds, then it has to go to Patalok or to one of the seven Patal Loks. There are 55 crore different types of hells. The souls have to go in there depending upon the sins or the bad deeds they have done in their previous lives. The soul should first have the knowledge that it has to go in the upper world. And if it does have that knowledge, then what should such type of soul do? The first subject is knowledge. It should have the knowledge and the spiritual goal, which is that after death, it has to go to the upper worlds. So, after death, the soul leaves the body and enters the three elemental body or the subtle body. With itself, you will be able to reach the Swarglok. Souls also have to do penance to reach there. In fact, even Maya and other attachments are present in the Swarglok. Did you know that? And if you have the knowledge that you are not supposed to get stuck in Maya, then you will be able to go to the fourth lok, that is Mahalok. Even the gods get stuck in attachments and pleasures of the Swarglok. If the soul continues on its spiritual goal to reach Shiv, the creator of this solar system, he does penance. Incorporeal Shiva lives in the supreme abode. How does the incorporeal Shiva look like? Just like the sun which we see is made up of the fire element and it is very bright. But the incorporeal Shiva in the supreme abode is made up of divine light. The meditation method is to visualize the incorporeal Shiva with the help of your mind in Paramdham. Yoga or meditation means to think or remember. So whom will you remember? If a human soul wants to become Shiv, then it has to think of him constantly during meditation. Whoever you shall keep thinking during meditation is what you shall become, and eventually you will reach there. When you think of Shiv constantly with the help of meditation, slowly and gradually the power shall come into your soul from the incorporeal Shiva himself, from the Paramdham, and your soul shall become powerful. You should aim at becoming a Karma Yogi, that is, every moment you should think of being the incorporeal Shiva. Remind yourself of your spiritual goal that you have to become Shiv from a mere soul and reach Paramdham. While sleeping as well, imagine that you are sleeping in Paramdham and your body is in the light form. Think about the light form and be in the Divya Swarup. By doing this, your mind will get transformed. The soul contains mind, brain, and values. The soul contains the mind, which contains the brain, and the brain in turn contains values. So when you start doing this, your karma and your thinking will change. One should always think about doing well for the universe. By doing this, you will not think negative about anyone. Always be positive and think that everyone is the children of the Almighty because the soul is the child of the Almighty.
So that is why Lord Krishna had said to Arjun in Mahabharata that, "Oh Arjun, don't do actions just by seeing this lifetime or this birth, but see the future and then act accordingly. Because for the actions you do in this birth, you will get their results or fruits in next birth."
So what do you want to achieve in your next birth? For the next birth, you will have to do the preparation in this life itself, isn't it? You are living this life, and after your death, if your life didn't have a spiritual goal, then what? But if your goal is to become Shiv in the next birth, then what should you do? You should have the knowledge of the incorporeal Shiv. When you keep thinking of him, your soul will get power. And if your soul gets the power, then your mind, brain, and values will become pure. Once they become pure, your soul shall become pure as well.
Bapuji, now I would like to ask you a question. It is written in our scriptures that during Shivratri, if you put bay leaves on Shivling, it is considered that all the sins of your previous births are washed away. There are many similar beliefs and theories in devotional path. So in reality, how do I understand this with the help of our knowledge? Is it that we remember the God from our heart and mind, and will it work in the same way as it does for the person who follows the devotional path?
These stories about the devotional path have been told since millions of years. Undoubtedly, the stories are really good. I'm not saying anything against these beliefs, but you should have the practical knowledge as well. You must have heard about Ramayana and Mahabharata. Similarly, you are also listening to the story about Shiv. There are a lot of stories of Shiv in Shiv Puran. But what I am telling you is not a story. There is a difference between a story and having practical knowledge. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said that one should try to know him, as in the Almighty Authority. How will you know him? Only through divine knowledge. One should attain the knowledge about who is God and who is Shiv. And you have to start by knowing Shiv. Krishna has also said in Bhagavad Gita that you shall not know my true form by praying, doing penance or meditation. These are just different ways of devotional worship, but you will only find me through divine knowledge. The fruit of devotion is knowledge, you see. When the human soul is full of devotion, knowledge emerges out of it and gets detached from the worldly pleasures.
Bapuji, how to reach Shiva or attain his knowledge?
The soul should have a clear goal to attain his knowledge, and Shiv shall provide the power to the soul. Shiv stays in Paramdham in the form of supreme light. He is beyond the five elements. After death, one can reach Shiv by crossing Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, Swarglok, Mahalok, Janlok, and so on. The soul in the subtle body will keep getting lighter as it goes higher. The three elemental body shall also keep getting lighter, and you will keep traveling higher. Then you shall reach Brahmapuri, then Vishnupuri, and after that Shivpuri. Finally, it shall reach the Paramdham. In Paramdham, the soul will slowly become Nirakar or formless.
It might take many lakhs of years to reach there.
No. If you have higher goal in life, then your soul will automatically gain speed. It does take time, as the soul has infinite lives, sins, and karma recorded in it. So, it has to first destroy all those sins and clear the karma. Prior to adjusting your karma, one should not do any negative actions in this birth itself, so that there is no negativity in the mind or soul. So, if your goal is higher, then after the soul has left the body, it shall speed up towards Paramdham. It's called as Antmate Sogati. If the mind has the wish to reach Swarglok, then it will definitely reach there. It will not take lakhs of years to reach there. Once you start going upwards, slowly the speed of the soul shall increase. For example, it doesn't take much time to reach Vishnupuri from Brahmapuri. And from there, you can proceed to Shivpuri.
This seems similar to the belief that one day of Devi Devtas or deities is equivalent to 1 year here on earth.
Yes, one day of Brahma is equal to 8.64 billion years on Earth. This shows the correlation between time, space, and speed.
So, Bapuji, how much time will a soul requires to reach Shivpuri?
It depends on how much it is desperate or wishes to reach there, and how much powerful is its goal. If the goal is very powerful, then, as we say, Nashto Moha Smriti Labdha, meaning the destruction of worldly attachments and remembrance of the Almighty Authority. I will tell you about the olden days in which people would go to Kashi to do Kashi Karvat. That is, they would offer their lives in Kashi. So, people would pray to God Shiv and do Kashi Karvat. The souls would sacrifice their bodies in the wells. These bodies would then get destroyed into pieces and the soul would leave and come out. At that time, it was said that the soul after leaving the body would directly reach Shivpuri. These stories can be found in Shiv Puran as well. The soul, within a second, emerges in Shivpuri by doing Kashi Karvat. As it reaches there, the Shiv and Shakti live there in three elemental bodies. It will not take much time to reach Paramdham from Shivpuri. So, if the soul's goal is higher and determined, it will gain a lot of speed and it will not take much time to reach there. And eventually, the soul will become Shiv and be formless or Nirakara. In Paramdham, it becomes similar to Shiv. It does not have any body or form. It becomes free from karma and bondages. Firstly, we have the subtle world, above which we have the causal world, and after that is the Paramdham. So, in the beginning, you have a subtle body, then a causal body, and then eventually this body will also get over. The soul then becomes formless. It is in the state of Kevalya Avastha, meaning detachment of soul from matter and leading to eternal happiness. When the soul reaches Paramdham, it becomes immortal.
That means, does that soul get one with the Shiva and loses its identity?
If the soul has a wish to be liberated, then it dissolves or becomes one with the formless Shiv, who is the supreme light. By this, its existence is over as it gets liberated. But the souls which stay in Nirakar state in Paramdham, they attain Jivan Mukti. These souls are at a state of Purna Brahma or Shivoham or Aham Brahmasmi. That means that they become Shiv. Shiv is also called as Parabrahma Parmeshwar, hence it gains all the knowledge of the entire galaxy.
So, can we say once the soul has gone up or reached Paramdham, it does not have the wish to come back or take the birth again?
You tell me, why will it want to come down? Once it has reached Paramdham, it won't come down again. If it wants liberation, it can become one with formless Shiv or within the Supreme Light.
So, is this the art of living of soul?
Yes, this is the art of living of the soul. I have given knowledge on the soul's art of living. A lot of people these days, on the other hand, tell about how to make human life more successful. But I explain about the art of living of the soul. Even right now, I have explained these things very briefly. For detailed explanations, you need to have a lot of knowledge. The other topics are covered in my other videos. Once the soul gains the knowledge of Shiv, if it wishes, it can also become Mahashiv. People celebrate Mahashivratri, but they are unaware of the difference between a Shiv and Mahashiv. Mahashivratri comes once in a year, but Shivratri comes in every month. So what is the difference between both of them? Mahashiv is the creator of infinite galaxies, while Shiv is the creator of one galaxy, which is one light year or one solar system. And Mahashiv is the king of Mahaparamdham. So when the soul reaches or attains Shiv, it gets transformed into divine light. It gets the power to reach Mahashiv and also the knowledge as to how to reach Mahaparamdham. Then the journey of group of formless souls which are present at Paramdham begins. They go to the galaxy's center point where Mahashiv resides in Mahaparamdham. Like we have Paramdham, we also have Mahaparamdham. There we have Mahabrahma, Mahavishnu and Mahashiv. In a galaxy there are billions of suns or solar systems. And Mahashiv is the creator of infinite galaxies. So, when Mahashiv takes the form of Mahakal, that is Shiv the destroyer, it creates immense fire and takes in infinite galaxies within itself. This is also written in the scriptures and mythological books. Once the soul has become Mahashiv, it gains the knowledge of Param Mahashiv and can also reach the Mahaparamdham of Param Mahashiv. Even beyond that, Mahashiv category soul form a group and travel to the center point of universe where the Param Mahashiv resides. So the soul, if it wants, it can become Shiv, Mahashiv or Param Mahashiv and go to the center point of the universe to Mahaparamdham. It can even go beyond this point. After the soul has transformed from Jiv to Shiv, it doesn't take much time. It can reach Mahaparamdham within 1 second. The soul gains the infinite power of the divine and supreme light. This power is equivalent to 1 crore suns. As the Shiv can control many solar systems, it is a lot of power. Similarly, Mahashiv will have even more power than Shiv. There are crores of suns revolving in a galaxy and are moving due to the power of Mahashiv. All this knowledge is very deep and complex, but if the soul wants, it can become anything it wishes, whether be it Shiv, Mahashiv, etc. But nowadays, the soul doesn't have the knowledge about all these things. Everyone is busy telling different types of meditation or practices to make human life better, but they don't speak on the proceedings for the soul. How should the soul become free of attachment or desires?
Thank you so much, Bapuji. You have very well explained the reality of art of living for our souls. And if our soul wishes, it can become Shiva from Jiv and then Mahashiva or Paramparam Mahashiva. It can also travel to infinite galaxies. And if it wants, then in this human life itself, it can gain knowledge for all this. We have made a playlist in which all the knowledge about this is given. Topics like history of universe, soul traveling and many more. All the knowledge is explained sequentially. All the followers of Bapuji who want to understand this knowledge and should begin the journey of becoming Shiv and beyond starting from Jiv and understand the true art of living. It is the goal of Bapuji that every human being understands the knowledge and gains the knowledge of the soul and how to go beyond this normal human life. Those interested in more knowledge may please subscribe to our channel. You can search our channel by writing Bapuji Dashrath Bhai Patel in YouTube. If you subscribe to our channel, you will get daily notifications about the new videos published in our YouTube channel. At the end of this video, we have the playlist of the videos like Unspoken Truth for the beginners, interview with Bapuji, etc. So one can start his or her spiritual journey through these videos. Please visit our website named paramshanti.org. Android users can also download our app named Bapuji Dashrath Bhai Patel for easy access to our YouTube videos. Param Shanti Bapuji.
Param Shanti.